Hello again, it's AliExpress gadget time. Gadgets I have purchased for analog cameras. Um, it started not so long ago. I have this little Minox camera. It's a beautiful, very practical, very super easy to use little camera. Um, and sometimes I also use it, to make photographs of people around me, family, dinner parties, all in close range. Normally I only make pictures of landscapes, nature, buildings, cities, that kind of stuff. But sometimes, when you're out having dinner, and it's sometimes nice, especially this camera. I mean, you fold it, you put it in your pocket, you always have it with you, and it makes very, very decent photos. Nice little lens, super easy to handle. But sometimes I missed a little flash. So I googled and I googled on little flash. And like always now with Google, you first get the AliExpress products to see. And this came as one of the first on Alie. And I thought, well, let's have a look how this if this works, and if this really is something that is worth trying. Well, and I must say I used it a few times for shots within restaurants and within mostly closed environments, like a little terrace or a restaurant. And I used it up to 2 to 3 meters. And the film I've developed, up to 3 meters, it's perfect, really perfect. I'll tell you a little bit about this thing. You charge it with a USB. There is a rechargeable little battery in here, so you charge it with a USB cable. And when it's charged, you switch it on here. And when it's on, you see here the green. It means it's ready to flash. And here, pressing this, you can set the intensity of the flash. In this modus, it's the most intense flash as possible, and this one is the lowest. You get about a few hundred flashes from this flash when it's fully charged. Let's have a little oppa. There it goes, and it's very easy to use again afterwards. The green light indicates it's ready to flash. Super handy to use, and you can even use it on older cameras like this one. You see it flashing because it makes a little contact. I'll switch it off a little bit. For putting it on a camera like this, you need a cable. The only disadvantage of this little flash is that you cannot put the cable here on this camera. You can put the flash cable here, and on the older flashes you had another entrance of a cable, and you could put it there, and then it was flash synchronized. But this fortunately does not have such a cable input, so you have to buy another device to put the cable in, and then in that case you can also use it on very old cameras like this old camera. Now, since we have this little gadget here, I want to show you something else. This camera doesn't have a light meter, and I normally use a light meter which I take with me in my pocket, but it's always doesn't come in handy, because then I have the camera in my hands with the strap, and then in the other hand I have the light meter. It's not, and then I take the readings from the light meter, and then taking the readings of the light meter, I have to put the light meter away and then put what the results of the reading in the camera. So I did find it very convenient to work with. So I googled and for a light meter, cold shoe light meter, and then this came. This little gadget, it works on a little battery. It's not rechargeable, but it's a normal battery. I think it's the C2016 or something. I mean, anyway, you can buy those batteries still at this date. Like this, pressing this, you push it on. And when you turn it on, you first see the ISO you have set. And here you see in the left corner, you see something blinking. You cannot see it, but it's a little A, and it means it is set now on aperture priority. You can also, by pressing this button here, set it on shutter speed priority. Now, basically the camera is very easy to handle. Here, when putting it on aperture priority, here you put the aperture you have chosen, and when I press this button again, it takes the measurement, and here it gives the shutter speed. Well, it's a little bit dark here, as you can see, so I will go to some smaller aperture, see what happens. Again, and then you see, okay, so you see the shutter speed increased. Every time you push this, it takes a reading of the shutter speed. ISO you can set by pressing this button for around, I think, 3 seconds, and then you can adjust the ISO setting. You can even put in a compensation values in it if you want. And after 30 seconds it switches off automatically. Well, look at this in handling. It is, I think, much more handy than a separate light meter in your hands. I mean, this is on top of your camera. You can take the reading pressing this, and then you can place the values you have measured in here. Ideal for especially old cameras like this, or even this. This one has an electronic light meter, but you know, when it fails, you can also put it in there. Not that it has much use, because this camera needs batteries, because the shutter is battery controlled. But especially on older cameras, or cameras which you can adjust fully manual, and built-in light meter doesn't work. This is a pretty sensitive alternative. There's another alternative for this. It's slightly bigger, and it's, well, basically it's the same principle. It's an electronic light meter, and here you can adjust to the value. Oh, see here it stays a little bit in the middle. Well, let's keep it like this. And what do you have then? With the aperture at 5.6, you need a shutter speed of 1/4 of a second. This is also set on ISO ASA 100. Here you can, with this little knob, you can adjust the film speed for this light meter. So switch it on like this, you get the reading, you adjust it. You can also adjust the shutter speed. For instance, if you say, well, I want the shutter speed to be priority, well, do it like this. You set the shutter speed you desire, and you see it's underexposed, so we have to do something about the aperture. And well, with this chosen speed of 1/30 of a second, you need an aperture of 1.4. You can also do it the other way around. You say, okay, I want an aperture of, what's this, 2.8. Well, let's see, 2.8, okay. Well, in this case, we come to a shutter speed of between 1/15th and 1/30th of a second. So this is, I like this one too very well too, but the only disadvantage of this one is it's slightly bigger than this little one, and when you have a lot of sunlight, this is very hard to read. So that is the only disadvantage, but for the rest, Super easy to use, very super easy to use gadgets. This one was a little bit more expensive than this one. I bought this one for 37 euros, and I think this one was, when I bought it, around 80 euros. But maybe they've gone cheaper now as well. This will turn off automatically like this one. And then we have the final gadgets. I was looking for a waist view camera, so I bought a Soligor. I also made a film about it, a little video. You can watch it. But for cameras like this, it's especially on the street, and because the viewfinder is so pinhole small, I thought, well, let's see if they have something where I can use, and then I use it as a waist viewfinder. See if it works. And I bought this little thing. It's about 20 euros, and it's amazing. It's a very bright image you get. I will point it up so you can see it a little bit better. Very bright image you get on this little screen. It's very easy. It's a magnifying glass, and it's probably a mirror inside, and it projects it upside. On this thing you have two quarters drawn, and one is for 50mm lens and the other one is for 35mm lens. Now this little lens here is a 50mm lens on this camera, on this Welty, so I can use the square with the 50mm, and then I have a pretty accurate bordering of what will be on the picture. Really, it is so easy to use, and it's so handy that and you can still, even with this old camera, you can still press the shutter release button. It's very nice to use, even on this little Ricoh, you know, for street photography. It's, if you put it on here. What I usually do, I put a little bit of tape here, so because it's a little bit loose, standard from the factory. But if you put a little bit of transparent tape here, it's secured in the hot shoe. Well, look at it like this. You know, this little camera is ideal for street photography, and like this, you know, you can even photograph on the street more. Less being seen, so people notice it even less when you use this camera, when you photograph from the waist with this. This camera has a 35mm lens, so you know you can easily use the 35mm bordering inside this glass you can see here. So these little gadgets, you can use them basically on every little camera that is for sale, and even buying an old camera without a light meter, or a camera with a malfunctioning light meter which you can still adjust manually. These two gadgets are super to buy, and so you can use the camera fully again. And when you cannot afford a SLR which you can use from the waist, or you want a waist finder camera which is more portable than a pretty big SLR, take this little gadget. You put it on and you have a beautiful waist viewfinder on old cameras and on existing cameras. Well, that's it for now, these little AliExpress gadgets. In the future, if I see more interesting gadgets, I will make some little films about it, some small videos. For now, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions about the gadgets, please ask. Oh, by the way, I will not put any links to where you can buy them. Just Google it and you will come to it. Because I don't want to place links that sent you to Alie or Amazon, because you know I'm not someone who sells or promotes products. They do not pay me. I don't want to get paid for it. You have to find it yourself and decide what alternatives they are and if you want to buy it or not. So it is only to make you think. There are nice little apparatus, little small machines for sale that can make your little camera very much more usable in more ways. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or remarks, just put them below. Thank you.